Hello friends, James Stevenson here with a quick Who's Hatin' Hard on Tesla Today video. I will run the Who's Hatin' Hard on Tesla Today sizzle while letting you know today's hater is TM, who goes by the handle at TX9MX. I'll show you that in a minute. That's all you get for Loki right now. He is tucked in bed underneath his big blue blankie, but if he stirs from that spot, you'll be able to keep an eye on him in the Loki cam, while I'm over here making fun of this hater who had something to say when he saw my charts. So I just made some pie charts about the BEV market in California and how much of that belongs to Tesla. And you can see Tesla's EV market share in California is declining. Tesla's total market share, the share of all vehicles sold in California, is growing every year and has been for a long time. And that continues to be true when you add in the fossil fuel vehicles as well, because these companies that are growing their BEV sales, in many cases, are losing fossil fuel vehicle sales as California transitions to electric vehicles. But I also added this chart to it explaining why you can't always trust pie charts. The main reason is pie charts almost always index themselves. So what's that mean? It means every pie chart is going to add up to exactly 100%. And if you look at more than one of them, if you look at one from last year and one from this year, for example, what you can't see is how much the total increased or decreased by between the first pie chart and the second pie chart. If it was a huge change in what the total is, then the share of that market is not going to be informative always. And you should dispense with the pie charts and just look at the total numbers, look at the amounts, which is what this chart does. This chart is showing you the total amount sold by Tesla in 2022 year-to-date Q3 versus 2023 year-to-date Q3. Tesla grew their sales year over year by more than 50,000 vehicles registered in California year-to-date 2023 versus the prior year. The nearest competitor didn't even sell 20,000, so no competitor in California sold 20,000 EVs over the first 9 months of 2023, and the average competitor sold way less than 10,000 BEVs in California over that time period. What does TM at TX9MX have to say about that? And folks, I'm not featuring him today because I think this anonymous hater is, special or unique in any way. I'm kind of calling them out so that you can see another example of wrong thinking through the analysis of sales. His reply here says, the truth is that hashtag Tesla is losing overall market share. Losing has 1-0. Has declining growth and worsening margins. These challenges, like all great companies experience eventually, will cause the insane PE to drop significantly and impact stock price negatively. So what else is new? We have a Tesla Q member telling us that the stock is overpriced. Here's Nicholas Malachikos at Mr. Time Attack on X. Declining growth with a bunch of laughing emojis. More of this hot garbage with a bunch of facepalm emojis here. And TM says, correct. It's actually been declining for 8 quarters now. This is the thing that I wanted to talk to you about. See insert below. He's provided a chart below. Friendly advice. Do yourself a favor and check details before talking. If not, you will be the guy holding the bag when Wall Street decides to clean things out. Oh yeah, when Wall Street decides there's a bunch of better automakers they could be invested in than Tesla. All the Tesla shareholders are going to get wiped out. Okay, so what's this show? Year-over-year quarterly growth. You've got a 100 on this chart. 100% revenue growth year-over-year would be pretty good, right? And Tesla has hit that number a lot over the past, 14 years? So Tesla had year-over-year revenue growth more than 100 way back here before 2012. So we'll call this Q1 2012 and Q2 2012. The most recent time Tesla had a really significant decrease in revenue year over year. 3 quarters in a row, Tesla's revenue was down versus these higher revenues in 2011 from selling Roadster, right? And I'll pay this off in a minute. Then in 2014, back comes the 100% revenue growth. So quarter after quarter, year after year, green bars here showing revenue growth year over year. That's what you want as a company. And if you can ever manage 100% revenue growth, that's fantastic. So what's he saying here? Declining for 8 quarters now. So let's go over here and look at this. So he's saying these bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really, it's 9, not 8. Since this bar, okay, so there was 100% revenue growth here in Q2 of 2022. No, Q2 of 2021. I got it right. So Q2 of 2021 was the growth versus Q2 of 2020, which was the COVID shutdowns, the first ones back in 2020, right? So that's what accounted for this being such a big number. It was versus the quarter when Tesla had its most recent revenue decline year over year in Q2 of 2020. The following year, so Q3, 4, 1, 2, this number is comparing against a bad prior year comp here, right? But what's happened since then? A whole lot of positive numbers, right? Look how big these numbers are. They're not 100%, but they're a lot. And it's meaningless to say, oh, they've been down for 8 quarters now. Well, they're not down, they're up. Every one of these is up. They're green because they're up. These were red because they were down. Growing your revenue by 50% year over year is amazing, and most companies never do it. Most successful companies never grow their revenue by more than 50% year over year. Tesla has done it a whole bunch of times, and I'll illustrate this for you by showing you the highest bar on the page. So right here, none of the green bars are any taller than this one, and this was 2016 Q3. Let's look at this data visualized a different way, a smarter way. I'm just going to go ahead and say, here it is. It's one of my charts. So here's Q3 of 2016. That's the number that we're looking at. So I'm going to flip back and forth between these and show you this is Q3 of 2016. It's comparing against Q3 of 2015, which was only up by this small amount, right? So here's Q3 of 2015. This thin bar here is a lot narrower across than this bar is across. And that's it. What happened after this? Every quarter since, the growth has been smaller than it was in Q3 of 2016. But does that mean the revenue growth ended? No. That whole year in 2016, Tesla made $7 billion worth of revenue. The following year, they grew that to $11 billion, then $21 billion, without the benefit of ever having a quarter that grew by more than 150% year over year, right? Then $25 billion, $32 billion, $54 billion, $81 billion. This year, Tesla is on pace to go way past 80 billion, maybe past 90 billion before the end of this year. Even though this revenue growth has been declining for 8 quarters, whatever that means. Well, look, all the years are up. They're all up. And that's what's going to happen when so frequently you have big green up bars for your revenue. So don't listen to this joker when he tells you revenue has been declining for 8 quarters now. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And you can see back here, before 2012, these revenue declines, from here to here, 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 and there, aren't even visible on this chart. You can't even see the pre-2012 revenue because it's so small. relative to what's happened since, because Tesla grew their revenue. Beginning in 2014, they've been growing their revenue ever since. Here's 2014. And from there on, all of these short green bars yield to giant growth in what really matters, which is total revenue reported every quarter and every year. And that's my video for today. So, who's hating hard on Tesla today? Who cares? That guy. So we check back in with Loki to find out he is still bedded down under his big blue blankie, catching some shut-eye. And I'll end the video by saying if you liked the video, don't forget to click the like button. It's always free to click the like button. And it helps other people find this video if you do it. But it's your life. You don't have to if you don't want to. I do appreciate everyone whose trust I have earned if they enjoy these videos enough. Some people find it in their hearts to support me by subscribing on Patreon for $4.20 a month or on X for $3 a month, which is only 69 cents per week. You get that much value out of my videos, don't you? Or by joining my YouTube channel as my executive producers Kenty Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com did, and I'll see you in the next one.